I want to say that my husband did not consider himself as a watch designer. He considered himself as an artist who made watches. When he started his job as watch designer, that job did not exist, that profession did not exist. People would go and choose a watch, a bracelet, separately, match it, and that was the way watches were made. When my husband started to think about doing watches, he considered it as an object, nearly as a sculpture. He saw it as an artist. Therefore, the bracelet, the watch, the buckle, the dial, everything had to be a work of art. So yes, he was probably the first watch designer, but he would have told you he was an artist who made watches. This incredible sports watch was designed by my husband at the request of Mr. Regiro Hattori himself. Mr. Regiro Hattori, who had met him since the 70s, had Gérald come over to Japan many times so that he would give inspirational talks to the Seiko team. And therefore, Gérald considered it an honor to design a very special watch for Seiko and for Mr. Hattori. He then decided to make a watch that was, of course, a sports watch, but special, something that belonged to the tradition that he liked of exceptional timepieces. And the Hattori family always held a very, very special place in my husband's watch, and he so enjoyed working with him. Mr. Hattori's influence on Gérald Genta goes much further than just asking him to create a watch. Gérald Genta existed mostly because Mr. Hattori asked him to create his own brand. Well, he loved the idea of doing that because he was a great admirer of Asia and Asian culture. Of course, in the 70s, he was considered not very popular doing this connection with Japan. But my husband did not care because he had a very strong love story with Japan and with its culture. He's always loved the attention to detail, the perfection, the courtesy, the respect that Japanese people have for each other and for other people and their culture. First of all, I want to say that my husband very rarely named watches, so that is quite rare that he gave the name to the watch. Very rarely. Often, even our own watches were not named. So this one he wanted especially to be named Locomotive, which has got two meanings in France. It means that machine that is pulling the train, that has got all that power. So he wanted that watch to be powerful to the brand. And it's also got the meaning that a locomotive is a great success. First, to be that pulling power, but also he felt that the locomotive would be a great success for the brand and would be the timepiece that would define it for many, many years. The Credor Locomotive was produced in 1979 and remains one of Genta's most important creations. It is also the symbol of a deep friendship and mutual respect between Gérald Genta, named the Picasso of watches, and Japan. My impression was that he would have loved it because it was made with great respect to his design, with all the subtleties that he had included in this design. It's a very subtle design. I think the locomotive is really a child of Gérald Genta, and that it will certainly remain in the long history of his bestsellers as part of the family.